Oh, I'm not sharing my camera. There we go. So what you see now is called a WYSIWYG. And what you see is what you get. So like pretty much like what I'm streaming. So I'm so sorry. I forgot to hit that button. It's so annoying that I forgot to hit the button. And I'm such an idiot. And I'm so sorry. But thank you for being
you're fine.
Bearing with me.
You're good.
Oh, you're a nice guy. Look at you. All right. So hey, Marcmunky, any questions before we get going, buddy?
No.
All right. Everything's looking good there on the screen. Marcmunky, he, him. I mean, you look good.
Gotta make sure the beard is nice.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I respect the beard game. Yeah. All right. As long as we're good to go, then I guess we can sort of like quote unquote begin. So, Marcmunky, thank you so much for being with me today. How's it going? How are you doing?
I'm doing okay.
Yeah,
I got a little bit of a headache today.
Oh.
So I'm gonna do the best I can. I went and grabbed an energy drink, so I'm powered by caffeine.
You doing a monster?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Delicious.
I need to quit that shit, honestly, but it
scares me. I just drink coffee.
Yeah, like I have to quit caffeine in general. Oh. Having my son drove me to two things: weed and caffeine.
Fuck yes, dude.
That's parenting for you.
That is parenting for me. You know what? Then we can begin. We can begin. The leftist
time.
It is time. It is, and I hope I've sent you the most recent form of the format here. What we get to do is give you the chance, Marcmunky, to give yourself the big shout out. What do you do? Where can people find you? Yeah.
Well, again, Marcmunky, spelled weird because I was a corn kid growing up.
I'm sorry, a corn kid?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, really big into nu metal when I was a teenager.
Oh, corn. Okay. Yeah. Sorry, I keep hearing of like these corn leftists, but it turns out they're from Iowa. They're not into the band. Okay.
Yeah. I cover politics. Like to cover a lot of news stories. My main focus, I'm from Flint, Michigan, so I talk a lot about water rights. I talk a lot about labor rights, poverty, various things like that, policing. And I have a background in healthcare, so I talk a lot about healthcare. I promote Medicare for all above all else, and can explain to you why not only is it better for patients and citizens, it's better for doctors on the provider end too.
Yeah, we'll definitely be able to talk about that. Stoked that you just brought that up. You're like, hey, I got my points that I'm going to make. I love it. What other like current projects you got going on? Be them professional or like leftism related?
Well, I have a plan and I hope I follow through on it, of doing my first ever scripted video. Somebody asked me on Twitter about my view on guns, because I'm a full abolitionist of all guns from the U.S.
Oh, okay, that's fascinating. Okay,
yeah,
not a very leftist position in the sense that
it's left-ish.
Leftish.
There's
Leftish
some nuance
and
to
chill.
it.
Very good.
That's why I'm making the video. So,
okay. Oh, very good. Very good. So we'll be able to look forward to that. That'll be like on your YouTube, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Make sure we get that link from you. So then we got plenty of time now to talk about what's grinding your gears. Be that something in the news, be them anything political or whatnot. What are you thinking about these days?
Well, usually my biggest gripe that I have is regarding the water crisis and how Flint has fallen behind in the news. There's a lot of focus on people using Flint to like win arguments. I see it all the time on Twitter and I cringe every single time. Flint doesn't have clean water, which is half true, but it's a lot more complicated than just we don't have clean water. Like most of the city, the water is okay, but we still don't trust it enough to drink from the tap. And the filters that they gave us don't work. I'm on the luckier ones. Yeah.
What kind
I'm
of
on the
filters
luckier
do they
ones,
give
though.
you?
Like a Brita.
Okay.
Brita
They
and
don't
Pure.
they don't do the job, huh?
Yeah, they wouldn't remove lead.
Oh gosh.
hmm That would be the biggest problem.
The whole thing. Yeah.
hmm But
Okay.
we we have had our pipes being replaced for a while. A lot of people like to say things like, oh, nothing's happening. They still don't have any clean water. And it's like, that's not quite true. And it kind of feels like you guys haven't checked up on us in like 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
So I like to try to get the word out about that yes, some progress is being made, though, yes, it's slow. COVID actually slowed it down a lot.
Really?
It was supposed to be finished this year. But that still doesn't fix everything. Like, you still got to talk about home pipes, which the city will not replace. We're trying
real
to
quick. Are they like replacing the facility? Like what are they like actually doing to fix it? Because they like didn't they like reroute their water through an old facility that wasn't really prepared correctly, and that's why. I'm so sorry.
no
So I have some misunderstanding. Then yeah.
no it's fine. So the entire story is we were taken over by state operatives known as emergency financial managers. What they do is basically they control everything budgetary of a city. The mayor can't make any decision unless it's run through them first, like anything that spends money. Because even though we had spent a lot of money that was going to return on investment at the time, it made us look like we were far in the red. So it was a law that was denied in referendum, and Snyder signed anyways. So that's one part of it. And when we were taken over, there were negotiations basically blown with the Detroit Water Authority regarding billing and how expensive it was. And Detroit Water comes pre-treated to build up what are called TTHMs on the outer lining of the pipes to basically make it so there's a protective layer for the pipes so you don't reach down to the fittings. Like especially if you have lead fittings, which we did. We had a 70-year-old water system. And he basically got us kicked off of it. Once he got us kicked off of it, they needed to come up with a plan because, we still needed water. And they still sent it to us. And they even offered to like give it to us for like a 50% rate, but that wasn't enough for them.
Yeah,
exactly. And the alternative they came up with until another private pipeline was finished being made is called the Corrignandi Water Authority pipeline.
Okay.
It's just like a private ownership pipeline. Until that was built completely, they were going to put us on getting our water from the Flint River, which was a mistake. We don't have our water treatment facility doesn't have the ability to treat water in the same way that Detroit did. So it was just running through. It was river water is different from like lake water, which is what we usually get from the Great Lakes. And river water is a little bit more acidic. God, I'm trying to remember all the science behind that. But once it was going through, it started picking up a lot of bacteria because we weren't treating it, and it was eating away at that protective layer that was built up with the TTHMs. Broke all that down to the fittings and started leaching lead into the water supply. Not just lead, it was, like I said, bacteria. There's the report of the Legionnaires outbreak at McLaren Hospital. And copper is a thing. Like my house has more of a copper problem than anything. We don't have any lead. But yeah, we still don't drink from it. We have a reverse osmosis system that was donated to us by Habitat. So,
wow.
Yeah, that's the basics.
Just a couple of basics. A lot going on there, obviously. And thank you for sharing that. I'm thinking this. Hold on. Sorry about that. I'm thinking this Marcmunky will obviously be one of these main things. I'd love to put a pin in and make sure that we return to on future visits. So, thanks for helping us dig in. I'm definitely going to make sure I do a little bit more homework next time we have you on and try to make sure we educate my audience as well on that. Obviously, I didn't educate myself well enough.
No, you're fine. Don't worry.
No,
like most people, most people get it wrong.
Okay.
That's why I have so much memorized about it. Like I'm not a water expert, but I had to learn so much.
Yeah. So you sort of forced yourself to learn these. Okay. Appreciate you sharing that. Really do. Let's move along then to Leftward Bound. This is a discussion about your pathway to leftism. You don't have to define your ideology or politics if you don't want to. You are encouraged to. And how about we start right there and go from there?
Okay. Well, I generally say that I'm a democratic socialist because that's just the easiest way to define it. I don't know if it's market socialism or democratic socialism or what exactly, but my main politics is I want to decommodify all necessities, food, water, housing, and I include internet, things like that, mobile phones, things that people need to properly survive on an equal level with anyone who's richer. And, if the private market wants to sell us luxury items like, a Nintendo Switch or something like that, stuff we don't particularly need, fine, cool, whatever. But you can't touch any more of our necessities. The commodities are, don't commodify our necessities anymore because you obviously can't be trusted to dole that out. And people die because of that. That also includes healthcare too. But I also believe in democracy in the workplace. I'm very pro-union. I believe that co-ops should be the only available business in the country, and largely against private ownership, except for, like I said, the companies that provide necessities or provide luxuries. Yeah, fuck. But how I got here was from growing up in Flint, Michigan. I used to be a big liberal. I was raised liberal. My dad was a union guy, worked at General Motors. He always instilled in me the importance of the union and what it did to secure our lifestyle and help us, survive. And I had a good middle class upbringing, but growing up in a city like Flint, starting in the 80s and moving to now, you just watch things happen. And that was my radicalizing force, was watching the disintegration of my city beyond the water crisis. We've had a poverty issue for a long time, ever since the mid 90s. We were constantly in the most dangerous cities category, like for 20 years, 20 something years. I think we might be back there again. Just the disintegration of all the homes around the city. And then when you look into the history of Flint, it's really interesting how it was built. The poorest part of the city is the north end of Flint. It was built by UAW to house southern black workers looking to work up here. That was a negotiation made between the UAW and General Motors that they would build this housing, but they would have to keep them out of the union. And what a shock that that's still the poorest part of the city now. Wow. Like all this low-income housing that was built by the union to keep black people out of it. Just absolute horseshit. You see all that, and you slowly take a look at capitalism as it exists. Like we've always, ever since the 80s, we have not trusted any trade deal, any free trade deal. because that's where a lot of our jobs went. That was our main industry, was automotive. And we're down to like 2 plants now. But it used to be everyone's parents worked at General Motors. Everyone had like a decent middle class income. When I was born, I'll go based off my cousin's speech. He was used in a documentary, Flint Town, and his whole speech is actually really fucking good. When he was born in 1980, our average income was, I believe it was $52,000 a year in 1980. Wow. So higher than middle class. And now it's down to something like 23, 33, somewhere around there. And we're listed as the poorest city in the country. And you watch that shit in real time, and you can't help but wonder, like, if there is one factor that could have led to this. And a lot of people turn to blaming the government, a lot of people turning to, more right-wing views of not just blaming the government, but all government interaction is evil. Most people in the city just gave up. That's the sad fact. We have like a 13% voter participation rate. Like ridiculously low. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Like a very small fraction of us chose our mayor, which this mayor is at least better. But we've just watched the disintegration of our city, watched it get a little bit better. This very second that we finally had a plan for the first time in 20 years, the state stepped in and just fucked us over. Mm-hmm. We should have been in the news for a long time, and we just haven't, because it's not sexy to report on poverty. But you have a water crisis, that's sexy for a little bit. But the problems did not go away. We're still here. Now our biggest problem is we don't have teachers for all the kids who are poisoned by lead. And they're growing up. What do we do? So eventually I started turning away from capitalism, turning away from just being a general liberal, starting with watching TYT, and then it branched into watching The Majority Report by Sam Cedar. Met a lot of friends through that who are like anywhere from your general soc dem to full on ANCOMs and Marxist Leninists. And they pulled me in a direction. I can't see myself ever going fully ANCOM or anything like that, but I'm happy where I sit. I'm pretty staunch in my politics right now. So, yeah, learned a lot from Michael Brooks, learned a lot from all sorts of sources. Not well read, but, I learn better with video anyways.
Same. Cheers. If you wanted to dig in any more, I was wondering if there were any more aspects of politics, be it leftist theory or thinking or history, personal experiences, others' experiences, etc. Anything that helped pull your heart and mind to the left.
Well, I got in healthcare. I originally got into healthcare through medical billing and office administration, and that didn't really work out very well. So I became a CNA, and I was that for 6 years. I've worked everywhere from nursing homes to hospice and home care. Mm-hmm. And I had to quit because I had a knee injury, and for a while there, I was working at like dealerships to get by. But I'm back in healthcare now, working as a medical biller for an orthopedic clinic. So knowing a lot about how this industry is billed out to people and how much people owe and why they owe it and how just absolutely awful it is to try and figure out how to negotiate with an insurer whose last thing they want to do is pay for the procedures that they're supposed to pay for. That I was actually originally, like back in 2009, I was against single payer healthcare. I was like, I don't trust the government to make decisions like that. Until I realized, hey, wait a minute, they only pay for it. Now I'm full on like, we need an NHS system. I don't want any private hands touching healthcare at all. Because I just watched how awful the profit motive has been to what should be provided to everybody, but isn't. It's just absolutely disgusting.
I think others are going to look at that Marcmunky and identify. So I appreciate you sharing. Hey, this brings us now, and unless you had anything else you wanted to add in your leftward bound journey, now is your chance.
No, I'm good.
Beautiful. Really good shit so far. Hey,
awesome.
Now we can distill some of those experiences from your life and what you're up to and your pathway in #BeBest. If you had the chance to go back in time and teach a younger version of yourself, or, of course, someone in chat or someone watching the replay, what might you share given the opportunity?
I would probably tell myself to learn to let go. I had a lot of things that I clung to for way too long. I'm also a former musician. Played a number of shows, touring bands, all of that shit. And there were a couple times that I just became really risk averse as far as looking for something better, recognizing that I was in a very shitty situation, that I was the only one contributing, that I was the only one doing anything worthwhile, and abandoning it for something that might be better because I was worried about hurting people's feelings. I was the same way with that, with relationships, family, just a lot of shit. And I've learned to better let go these days and learn my own worth. I recommend everybody take time out to learn your own worth, because it's so helpful. You never know what bridges you could have crossed if you didn't talk yourself out of it.
So, Mark, this brings us now to the Leftist Inquisition. You ready to go, buddy?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Okay. Pass or skip any question you like. There's no stress. It doesn't matter, right? Cool. Hey, Marcmunky, do you have a favorite word?
Favorite word? Probably word, honestly. It's like, yeah. I've for a long time, like that's been like my main answer to everybody, like, oh, I guess hey, this thing's going, oh, word, okay, cool, yeah,
word.
It was I said it so much that my wife found a shirt for me that just said word on it, and she bought it for me. I don't know where that went. I think I got rid of it because it's just too old, but that's it's just a fun way to just answer somebody. No, word, dog. Okay.
Word.
Shit.
So, do you have a least favorite word?
Anonymity, because I have a lot of trouble saying it.
It sucks. Yeah, it's like it's not on my like mouth palate either. Anonymity. How about the word sixth? After fifth.
It pops up in so many articles too.
Yeah. Oh, it's the worst.
And like I have to read it and I just go, fucking shit. Anonymity.
Skip. Pass. Exactly. That brings us to a favorite drug or vice or guilty pleasure. Feel free to name one of each.
Okay. Well, favorite drug right now has actually been weed. It took me into my 30s to finally pick it up. It got legal in Michigan, and I was
Hey.
like, well, I have less to lose. I don't have to worry about, going to North End, dealing with some shady drug dealer.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, so I picked it up, hadn't really smoked all that much in my life. My teenage years were very boring besides playing guitar for a number of things.
Okay. Nice.
And yeah, I'm glad I picked it up. It helps a lot with, back pain. And like I said earlier, yeah, it was having my kid and him having colic that drove me to it because I needed
Oh.
something for my anxiety, and that was the
Okay.
best thing that worked.
Mm-hmm. You have one or more kids?
Just one.
Okay.
It was a little surprise baby.
Congrats. Also, I'm sorry. That's great.
Thank you, and I get it.
Yeah. So then, how about noises? You're a musician, so it could be musical. I'm wondering, but do you have a favorite noise or sound?
A good, nicely toned guitar will always just give me the chills. Like,
what are you thinking? What kind of guitar are you thinking in your mind right now?
Oh man. Like I've been really big for years into Telecasters, even though I don't own one yet.
I too don't own a Telecaster. I just have my Strat. Yeah.
Soon. The plan is I'm going to get one when we can get our tax money for our son. I'm going to go straight Fender, make it happen.
Oh,
it's just there's nothing better than like one out of a AC30. I fucking love those amps, Vox AC30.
Yeah.
Yeah, those things are amazing sounding. Just having that like good kind of plinky tone out of the telly. Mm-hmm.
Oh, look at me! I know. I sound like I know things. Before I get too out of my depth, we got to move on from the guitar talk. I don't want to embarrass myself. They have 6 strings, though. I know that.
You're correct. They also have 7 and 8 strings.
7, 8-string tellies? Hard pass. Too many strings.
Oh, not a Telecaster.
Okay.
No.
Just in general, yeah, too many strings. I want to go fewer, like ukulele style.
I get that. Yeah.
Do you have a sound or noise, Marcmunky, that you hate?
Yes. Oh man. I have like slight misophonia.
Yeah.
And like, like I was saying earlier, good guitar sound gives me the chills in a good way. Really coarse kind of sounds really get to me. Like like sweeping against a coarse floor, it just really bothers me to the point where I actually feel physically sick. Like my son has this pillow on his changing table. Like we put a towel down, to collect any liquids. But he'll pull on it and he'll kick it up, and his boots grinding against that pillow just. Oh, I hate it. I have to go, no, pick up his leg and put the thing down. It's like, please stop that. But yeah, I hate that sound. Absolutely.
Like weird textural sounds, huh?
Yeah. Yeah. And just the really coarse, just like, I hate it.
Ew. Sort of an ewy sound. All right, then. How about the reincarnation question? If you could come back as some plant or a non-human animal, what would it be if you could choose?
Man. I don't know. Probably hippo would be fun because no one would fuck with you.
No one said hippo. I love it. Yeah, no, they wouldn't. They don't fuck with you when you're a hippo.
Yeah, no, because they're fucking brutal, but they look cool and they're kind of cute. And they're just happy and chunky.
Yo, they're like tank puppies.
Yeah. With like alligator mouths.
Word.
It's like bigger alligator mouths. Like, man, they can one-shot an alligator, honestly. They're crazy.
That is crazy. They're like They're pretty sweet too. Like they're like relatively docile when they need to be. Like they can be like around people.
They
like
can be.
Yeah. Okay.
But once they turn, man,
right?
Like they're the deadliest thing in Africa. They're the deadliest animal.
Wow. How are we measuring that?
The amount of people they've killed. Yeah, yeah, they're wild. You look at them and you're like, oh, they're just a sweet big boy.
Yeah,
and it's like, oh, they'll fucking kill you.
All right, so
am I allowed to swear?
Puppy.
Am I allowed to swear?
Fuck no.
Oh well, shit.
Oh, fuck it. It's over now. Hey, that brings us to the influential leftist. If you could meet any influential leftist, dead or alive.
Alive would
or both, yeah.
Would definitely be Cornel West or Nina Turner. Like everything I've heard them ever say has just been like, oh fuck yes. And I would love to pick Cornel West's mind on what we need to be doing better, what our focus should be, what we could do locally. And one thing that no leftist has been able to answer me is, I always hear mutual aid. What do people in high poverty areas do to provide mutual aid? When you're struggling to provide it for yourself, how do you provide it to somebody else? As for dead, probably like Henry Wallace. He was pretty cool.
Okay.
You know who he is?
Nope.
FDR's vice president. He also ran for president. He was against segregation in the South. God, I think it was like the Secretary of Agriculture and something else under a couple other presidents. He leaned very socialist. He was definitely one of the Dems that stayed a Democrat during the shift. He was pretty legit. Like he was progressive. He was one of the editors originally of the New Republic. Like he was base as fuck.
Given those answers, keep either of them in mind. What do you think they'd say about you or what you've said today or the world or what would you like for them to say?
I think Cornel West would just tell me to do more, which is true, and it's something I'm working on. I've been kind of back bunch in my leftism for a while, except for doing this.
More what?
Like just mutual aid stuff. Like this year we plan on making a. We usually just put flowers in our front garden because my wife likes them. But this year we're going to do vegetables and try and give them out to like homeless shelters, do something that's actually beneficial to people, especially considering the housing crisis that goes on. And just participating more in my local politics. Like I said, I keep track of the news, but our city council is toxic as fuck, partially because of one individual in particular who a lot of people have turned into a meme. But I do have to suck it up and just fucking go. I'm sick of just feeling powerless just because of where I live. I need to try and change the place around me. And I hope that that's what they would say to me, and they would give me more directions on how to do it and how to keep the fatigue from hitting in.
Okay, so Marcmunky, that sort of answers the next question, but is there anything else specifically that you'd ask them if given the chance?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I would ask him for how I can do specific things, how how somebody living in a poor area who lives paycheck to paycheck can provide mutual aid better to their community, because that's just something that I always get stuck on. And whenever I ask it, I always get like they're always just like, I don't know. You know, food is expensive, and here we pay the highest water bills in the country for water that we can't drink. And
what the fuck?
True. We also have like the highest insurance, like car insurance, and it's mandated in Michigan.
I'm like, I don't know. I feel like this anger growing inside of me. So
there
like
was
super docile, and I'm like, what the fuck is this guy's deal? No, I mean, I get it.
There was an article by Cracked years ago talking about how expensive it is to be poor. And that article has stuck with me, because you live in a poor area and you have to have insurance. But because you live in an area where crime is possible, they jack the shit out of the rates. Like something like it's like $300-$400 a month for my car that has 250,000 miles on it. Like, just ridiculous. It's nothing crazy, but but we got to have it, because if we're pulled over and you don't have it, that's an extra ticket. So I just really want to know, like, how do you provide that? Like, is there some way to maybe create like a network across different areas from like less impoverished areas with different leftists to send stuff? Or I don't even know, man. I don't know where to start. I get lost in that stuff, and that's what gets me pretty doomer on a lot of shit.
All right, so that brings us to a little bit of a change here then. How about any streamer tips? You stream yourself. What would you give an advice to either beginning or veteran streamers?
There's two things, really. Make sure you get the right color of green screen. That's something I fucked up on.
What do you mean?
God, how do I...
What color did you get?
Oh, we got green.
Yeah.
But it's like a really light green, like almost like a yellowish green.
Does the light go through it?
Yes, it's very difficult. Like, this isn't green screen background.
That's
like,
yeah.
My stream I will have to constantly adjust the brightness and the white balance throughout the day as it gets like lighter out
in your room. Okay.
Yeah, it's just fucking ridiculous. And
I cover the window.
A regular green screen, you
less
don't have
variables.
To deal with that.
Green screen's hard. It's a hard effect to do.
It is.
Yeah.
The other thing is, and I can't stress this enough to a lot of streamers, and I don't see it ever. Get an ending screen.
Oh, I usually send the raid before the ending screen, but I do have one.
Yeah.
Why? Why?
The original reason I got it was because I got tired of, people, we're going raid, and cut off what they're saying in the middle of it, and it would just bump over, and it just felt so clunky. So I was like, I'm going to do that for that reason. And then it became more about if you accidentally leave your stream on, which every single one of us have done.
Yeah.
The screen is up instead of your camera. Because like after the person you raided into gets offline, it goes back to your stream.
Oh.
I've had a friend streamer who learned that the hard way, and I will never say who it was.
What happened?
But they were naked on stream by complete accident.
Totally a huge worry of mine. Every morning I'm like, I'm like looking at is OBS open? Is it streaming? I'm like, ugh, I just gotta get in. Okay.
End screen. I'm telling you. End screen.
No, for sure. Good stuff, dude. Now I'm in no rush here. I know we got started late, so I don't want you to feel rushed either.
No, you're good. You're good.
But
I'm good to hang out.
Beautiful. What we now have is a lens cap, Rob. All right, fancy guy over here.
Lens cap for a webcam? What?
Well, I actually have. I think he and I have similar cameras. We have DSLRs that literally we have lens caps. So this brings us to an opportunity for chat to ask questions to Marcmunky over here, and also Mark, if you have questions for me, we got at least 10 minutes if you got the time.
Yeah. I had heard you in one of your interviews. Like, I've been hanging out so that I can know what I'm getting into.
That's how I get the views. Yeah, it's all part of the plan.
Mm-hmm. And like, I heard you mention that you were a musician, and I was curious, like, what exactly you did, because I know quite a few people who played a lot in Chicago, anywhere from semi-international bands to like local bands. Like were you in like certain bands or anything? Like, did you tour at all?
So I'll tell you, I technically I was a choral trained musician. I was trained to be a music teacher, so I was thinking I'd be a choir teacher my entire life. That didn't pan out, and one project I picked up along the way was a Johnny Cash tribute act, and I was hello, I'm Johnny Cash, and I would sing Johnny Cash, and we'd sing 3 sets of music. We played around the Chicagoland area, a couple theaters, nothing too big. I played with the band for a year or two, and good experience. Definitely good experience.
Oh yeah, that's valid.
Yeah, I don't see myself not going back to that or doing some of that. In fact, I've done a lot of singing on stream. It's a lot of fun.
Nice.
But just a handful of like local clubs and just I don't know. I guess that answers the question.
I did a lot of punk and metal. I was in a band called Coke Dick Motorcycle Awesome. That's the closest thing we could get to people hearing of that, because it became a meme. Like, people just knew the name before they knew anything else.
Hey, whatever works.
Yeah, because I think it's still, if you, let me check before I say this. If you Google best band name ever, I think it pops up. At least it used to.
It's up there.
Back when we were a thing.
It's up there.
Ah, man.
Coke Dick Motorcycle Awesome.
Yep.
Dear Lord.
Yep.
That's just
we went by CDMA for short.
Okay. Yeah.
And to like parents and shit.
Yeah. So you got some good guitar chops. You played lead, rhythm, a little bit of both. What do you do?
A little bit of both. I'm not like a shredder at all. I like to call myself like a slop player. Hey. Like, I can play some like sloppy blues, and I like beating up on a guitar. But I love the creative aspect. But like, I've wrote leads most of the time that I've done shit, and then I did one semi-solo project where it was a band, and then it was just me, and then it was me and one other guy who played drums and recorded me, and we released a demo, and then we just kind of stopped. Shit happens, and then after that, I played bass for my buddy's band, who he's a singer-songwriter. It's like a kind of like alt country, Americana sort of thing. Everyone said we sounded like Wilco.
Yeah.
And we did
hard to get away from that.
Yeah, we're still technically together, but I'm not sure how it's gonna work. Like, COVID pretty much stopped us practicing together.
Sorry, dude.
Yeah, it's fine. He started doing solo stuff, and I got more serious in my streaming. So yeah, it's all good. But We had a lot of fun with that. We had stuff on Spotify for that under the name Goldblum, spelled like Jeff. And yeah, we had a good time with that. That's the last thing I'd done. That and a cover band, and yeah.
Any word from Jeff Goldblum? Does he mind the title?
We looked it up. It doesn't matter if he likes it or not. He can't sue us because last names can't be trademarked. We had to make sure.
Wow.
We had been together for like five years, and like we had kind of dicked around with like, well, we should tour, we should do this, we should get marketing, and so we were like, man, what if we have to change the name? So we looked it up, and no, last names cannot be trademarked.
Okay. Any last questions from chat? And you can ask me as many as you like, Marcmunky.
Let me see what we got here. No one asked me anything?
No, I didn't see anything. Yeah. It's okay. It's nothing personal.
You're I talk too much?
No, you're very transparent in a good way. Like, I have no idea. No.
Yeah. No, it's I love the sound of my own voice.
Well, you got a good mic. You got a good setup.
I just upgraded this too.
Oh, nice. What's the mic?
I had like a shitty Guitar Center mic, like a digital reference, and it was beat up to hell.
Woof.
And I had a good month, got my Twitch paycheck, and turned it into a SM58.
Oh, nice. That's a great mic. Do you have a preamp on it?
I run it through an interface.
Yeah,
it's the M audio interface that I use for recording sometimes. But that's about it.
Just gonna throw this. I don't have it handy, but you throw $100 preamp called a Fethead. There's another one that's a little bit more expensive. It's called something else, and it gives you like 26 decibels of noiseless gain. It pretty much turns your like dynamic stage mic, like it pretty much turns it into like a really fucking hot condenser mic. It gives it so much juice. I'm just saying, it's you might like using it. Whenever I use my SM58, I'll use a preamp. Where's my Fethead?
Yeah, what is that? Is it like big?
No, it's just this little tiny thing. It's pretty much is like the size of an adapter. So you pretty much take this and plug this into your mixer end, and you plug your XLR cable into there. Dude, I'm just saying, like, gain for days, and then it gives you a lot of good stuff to work with. Otherwise, like, you gotta like eat the fuck out of your mic, and that's not always ideal.
Yeah, like I lean back a lot, and like I'll have my kid on stream, so I have to like keep him far away because he likes grabbing the mic and like pulling it. Some of my best clips are him messing with the damn thing.
Here's your boom operator.
Mm-hmm.
Those little adorable kids. Yeah, the other thing's called a cloud lifter. I use the Fethead.
Oh, yeah. Nice.
All right.
Oh. Yeah. So how I became how I knew who you were was I had people coming in my chat. I forgot to make that connection.
Yeah, people in your chat talking about me.
Yeah,
talking shit about me.
No, actually, I do impressions and voices. I forgot to mention that earlier. And I have a really good Dave Rubin and a really good Jordan Peterson. And they were like, man, you should do Jordan Peterson or Dave Rubin with his Ben Shapiro. That'd be really funny. I'm like,
gosh,
who is that?
All right, so
like 3 or 4 times people asked me to do that.
Give me a minute. We might be able to meme live. Just give me a minute.
God damn it, Lord.
Hold on, let me sort of like do this live like a fucking professional. This is going to be great. Just everyone give me a moment. Everyone act like nothing's happening.
We'll do it live.
So what happened?
Yeah, sucks.
I always have to do it live. What how did you get into the impressions, dude?
I've always just done voices.
Okay, yeah.
I was a big fan of like Jim Carrey growing up.
Yeah.
And like I thought, oh, it's gonna be a comedian. Then I realized I'm not that funny.
Yeah. No, not you, but like I relate.
Yeah. It's like I could never be a comedian. Like I'm at best accidentally
like Dave Rubin.
Yeah. You got any gay people in the audience? Maybe.
Oh
Anybody?
my gosh, dude. Why does he keep doing that weird thing? Any gay people?
He should have just been like a statistician as opposed to a comedian. Because like that's all they do, ask for demographics and everything.
Right. Okay. So I'm going to ask you to say like relatively still. It's hard to do it. Are you ready? I'm about to reveal the scene. Hey, Dave. I'm sorry. Hold on. I did the wrong voice. Hey, Dave. Hypothetically, on a scale from 1 to 10, how much do you love what's happening right now?
Really got to say, I really miss Trump. I think we were far better for democracy to have Trump. A lot of what's going on is very anti-democratic, and the socialists are coming, and I really worry about the Antifa. You got to watch out for them.
Dave, how about Mr. Potato Man? Mr. Potato Head.
I really think that I think the leftists are taking over, and we need to watch out because they're going to kick our ass, and I don't want that. We need freedom of speech. I'm sorry, I move around too much.
Dave, are the liberals winning the cultural war? Do I really need more money from the oil billionaires to run my show? Hypothetically.
I think they are. They tried to cancel me, and cancel culture is the scariest thing in the world. If we don't have, if we get rid of the cancel culture, I would be more apt to talk about ideas. But I'm out of ideas. You have any ideas? I don't have any.
I love your big ideas. However, you're not coming to my wedding, and I'm not going to yours either.
Yeah, we're still gonna get me a cake, though, right?
No, they don't have to make you a cake if they don't want to. This is America, hypothetically speaking.
Hypothetically, let's say I pretended like I was getting married to a woman and asked you to bake a cake, and then I went, "Ha! Surprise! It's a man." Would that be okay?
You've stopped me in my tracks. This hypothetical is the one I've not considered.
I finally got him.
Guy, got him.
He's finally my friend.
He's finally been got.
Maybe Joe Rogan will call me again. That was fun.
Marcmunky. That's what we do here. We have invited you here today in the spirit of building leftist unity, strength, and power. In the same spirit, you've been a wonderful guest, and I cannot wait to have you back on to continue talking about things like what's happening in Flint. And I really appreciate you. Cannot wait to talk again. Okay, buddy?
No problem. Thanks for having me on.
It was an absolute pleasure. And we'll talk to you soon. Peace, bye.
All right. Have a good night.
Hey, YouTube. You're watching a clip from my Twitch channel, twitch.tv/iDanSimpson, where you can follow for free and subscribe for only $5 a month. Thanks for watching.